Hello students. So today we will study about force on a current carrying wire when placed in a magnetic field. The first question arises, why this wire will experience the force? So the answer is, you have studied the field lines in a bar magnet or in a horseshoe magnet. You have studied field lines for a current carrying wire. These are two different type of field lines. When they start interacting with each other, the concept of force arises. So today we will discuss this concept only. Now, if I brief this diagram over here, so this is the North Pole, this is the South Pole. This is a current carrying wire which is placed in between the magnetic field. This is the magnetic field which we represent by capital B. This is current I, and this is the wire whose length is L. See, we have hung this wire with the help of a stand and we have connected this wire with battery. When the current starts flowing in this wire, some force will be exerted and this wire will start moving in a particular direction. In which direction will it move, we will study later on. First we will discuss the factors on which this force will be effected. Because here we are seeing that there is B, here is I, here is L. So these are the factors which will affect the force. How they will affect, let us study. So the factors that will affect the force are, first, it is strength of magnetic field, that is capital B. If you will increase the power of this magnet, if you will take a horseshoe magnet or a magnet of high power, then the strength of magnetic field will increase and hence the force on the wire will also increase. So the first factor is the strength of the magnet. Second is current flowing across the wire. If I will change the amount of current flowing in this wire, what will happen? The force which is exerted on the wire will also change as per the amount of current. So the second factor that will affect the force is current. Both are directly proportional. If you increase the amount of magnetic field, force will increase. If you increase the amount of current, then also the force will increase. And the third factor, the length of the wire. See, the length of the wire. If you will change the length of the wire, then also the force will change. So the third factor is length of the wire. More will be the length, more will be the force. So these are the three factors that will affect the force on a current carrying wire. Now a simple formula that you have to study is F is equal to B I L sine theta. F is equal to B I L sine theta. See, a question comes in your board exams, you write two values for force where the force will have maximum and the minimum value. So how you can find? See, theta, the value of sine theta is maximum at 90 degree and minimum at 0 degree. This is for maximum force and this is for minimum force. But sometimes you people do mistake. For maximum force you write the value as 1 and for minimum force you write the value as 0. For minimum it is correct, but for maximum it is not correct. How? Just see. When we put the value in this formula, we will get F is equal to BIL sine 90 degree. Sine 90 is 1. BIL into 1 and F is equal to BIL. The maximum value of force is not 1. It is BIL. This is the maximum value of force. And what about the minimum value? F is equal to BIL sine 0 degree. Sine 0 is 0. BIL into 0 and F is equal to 0. This is a very important question. What is the value of maximum force? It is BIL. And what is the value of minimum force? It is F is equal to 0. Please don't do this mistake. Don't write it as 1. So this is all about the factors which will affect the force. First is the magnetic field, the strength of magnetic field of a magnet, bar magnet or a horseshoe magnet. Second is the current flowing across the wire. Third is the length of the wire. And fourth factor that affects is the angle between magnetic field and current. If you will decrease the angle, the force will also keep on decreasing. Okay. So the next factor, the next thing that we will study is in which direction this force will be there. We know the direction of B, we know the direction of current, but here we don't know the direction of force. For that, we will follow Fleming's left hand rule, which was given by the scientist Fleming. So our next topic is Fleming's left hand rule. So this is Fleming's left hand rule. It states that if we stretch thumb, forefinger and middle finger of our left hand such that forefinger is in the direction of magnetic field, middle finger is in the direction of current, then thumb will give the direction of force. But how to put these fingers? So I have written this important condition which you will include in the rule is all the three fingers must be mutually perpendicular to each other. Now, these are the three fingers. This is thumb, forefinger and middle finger. And the condition is all three are mutually perpendicular to each other. My thumb is perpendicular to my forefinger is perpendicular to my middle finger and middle finger is perpendicular to my thumb. So this is the important condition that we have to follow. So the rule will be, it states that if we stretch thumb, forefinger and middle finger such that all three fingers are mutually perpendicular to each other, then our forefinger, if our forefinger is in the direction of magnetic field, middle finger shows the direction of current, then our thumb will show the direction of force. So this is the complete rule. Now how to use this rule? Let us consider an example. There is a question in your textbook that an electron beam is coming from your back wall to the front wall, and with the effect of force it gets deflected to your right hand side. What will be the direction of magnetic field? So how to follow this rule? See, the electron is moving from my back wall to the front wall. In chapter electricity, you have studied that conventionally the direction of current is opposite to the direction of electron. So if the electron is moving in this direction, what will be the direction of current? It must be from the front wall to my back wall. So put your fingers. This is the current, front wall to back wall. So I will put my middle finger like this. Now the second question, the second condition is external force exerted on that electron, and that electron tends to move in my right side. So right side means this is the direction of force from left to right. Force is my thumb. So I will tilt it like this. Okay. The direction of current is this. The direction of force is this. So what will be the direction of magnetic field? Towards downward direction. So this is how you have to use this rule. And for simplifying, I am telling you how to remember this rule. You must know the head of the family is your father, then mother, then child. So you can remember this rule as father, mother, child. Father F will represent force, mother M will represent magnetic field, and child C will represent current. So this is only to remember this rule. You can easily use this rule and you can take many of the examples given in your books. Using this rule, you can find the direction of force if it is not given, or you can find the direction of magnetic field if the direction of force and current is given, or you can find the direction of current if force and magnetic field is given. We have to follow this rule. So in the condition of force, we have studied what are the factors on which force on a current carrying wire will depend? It is strength of the magnetic field. Second, it is current. Third, it is length of the wire and also the angle between magnetic field and current. So the formula was F is equal to BIL sin theta. The maximum force, the condition for maximum force is when theta is 90 degree. The value of maximum force is BIL. The value of minimum force is 0, which is at 0 degree. And how to find the direction of force? To find the direction of force, you will use Fleming's left hand rule. So this was all about today. Thank you.